Hello guys, I'm back with another video, and today we're talking about what if Deku had the Norse god's powers. So in the last video, Deku was born, and now fine he's at school. So let's start off with the video. Let's start off with the the first day, the or at least the last day of school, middle school for Deku. So Deku's pretty famous at school, mostly because he's the strongest person at school. Deku has been called the god of war because of his powers. So let me tell you his weapons. Deku has Thor the hammer, who's able to use electricity. Then there's the sword of Loki, and yes, he has the sword of Loki. It's able to allow him to basically teleport and also create clones, basically similar to shadow clones. Then there's the spear of Odin, which allows him to create ice when thrown. Well, like when it's thrown, it turns into ice, and with it he's able to summon a horse named Sleipnir. And you probably know this creature from mythology. It's basically a horse with 8 legs. Yeah, if you ever read mythology, well, it would kind of make sense for you, but for some people that don't know mythology, well, oof, that would be weird to you people, I guess. Then there's the gauntlets of Fenrir, which allows him to use like magic. Basically shadow magic and a mix of wood magic, which allows him to basically create vines, like really dangerous vines, which have thorns that are able to poison a person. Actually, not poison, actually it's more like basically when you get stung by a electric eel, it would basically paralyze you. Yeah. And then there's the scythe of hell, which allows him to create shadow magic and revive the dead. So it's basically like an artificial version of making a Dragar. Then there's his final weapon, not really final weapon yet. It's called the knife of Jormungandr, which allows him to basically use like poison. And the more he stabs the person, the more he stabs the person, the more poison that is in their system. He can also use it to turn it into a paralyzing type source, or he can use it to make illusions. Basically, he stabs it into the ground, the knife, and basically creates this weird gas that makes illusions appear. Like for example, he can make a person see like double of him, or see him as a gigantic creature or something like that. So let's go on. So Deku is in this classroom with this other classmates, as the teacher comes in saying, "Oh, we're going to be doing this paperwork and shit." And then he throws all the papers and says, "I know that you all want to become heroes someday, so we have 2 people going to UA." As him and Bakugo says, "Yeah, me and Nezuko are going to UA with you, and all of you busted D-listers are better not go there or I'll kill you." As everybody starts saying, "Hey, it doesn't mean that you're better than us." Deku says, "Please, Bakugo, it's better if you sit down, and better if you don't mess with our classmates. Besides, they might have much more stronger quirks than you." As Bakugo says, "Yeah." As the teacher As the teacher says, alright, it's time for you to all go. As they start going off, Deku starts going off as well. As he sees, as he starts going to that street, that's where he gets attacked by the sludge villain. When Deku gets attacked by the sludge villain, well, he just moves out of the way as the sludge villain says, "Hey, how did you do that?" As Deku summons the Scythe of Hell, as he summons Draugars, basically artificial Draugars. As Deku says, restrain him immediately. As one of them says, "Yes, master." As they start grabbing onto the sludge villain, basically have you seen like what's that movie? I can't remember the name of that movie, but it basically several bones come out of the ground like arms and start pulling the sludge villain away from him until All Might says, "I am here," as he destroys the sludge villain. Um All Might says, "Young boy, why do you have a weapon over there?" As Deku says, "That's my quirk." As Deku makes it disappear, basically into ice. As he says, "Young boy, what is your quirk?" As Deku says, "My quirk is called Northern War God." As he says, "Northern War God." Deku explains that his quirk is able to summon weapons named after Norse gods. As he says, maybe I should give him one for all. And this time, guys, I'm gonna give him one for all because that's how he's going to able to summon these two new weapons that I'm going to be making. So, after Deku escaped, go home, he started training. Um, All Might says, "Do you want to have my quirk, young Izuku?" As Deku says, "Sure." As as he starts training with All Might sees that he's much more stronger than him, and he's like maybe like 10, not 10%. He's able to use like 20% of all no one for all already. As All Might says, "Young Izuku, you seem to be much more stronger than me." As Deku says, "Yeah." As All Might plucks his hair and says, "Eat it." As Deku says, uh that do you have dandruff or something?" As All Might says, "What?" "No." As Deku says, "Sure." As he eats the hair and says, "Ah, this tastes disgusting." Ah. As Deku starts feeling a glowing sensation around his body, including in one of his eyes. Deku mostly wears an eye patch, but the eye patch, well, when he eats the hair, well, his eye patch just explodes, showing one of his eyes, being the eye that has the rune in it. Well, the rune just assimilated into a brand new eye. As All Might says, "Young Izuku, what happened?" As Deku says, "Great, my eye patch." Ugh. Oh well. As All Might sees one of his eyes, he says, "Young Izuku, what happened to your eye?" Deku says, "My mother said this is a part of my quirk." As All Might says, "Well, I think it's better if we go now." A few months go by, and Deku started training. Deku goes to UA to the entrance exam. After the test exam, well, he was pretty good, and he's maybe a bit more smarter than Nezu because after ripping his eye when he was a god, he's able to see everything. He knows everything because of that. So Izuku is pretty smart as it's the written exam. Him and Bakugo are talking as Ida as usual saying, saying, stop you two, stop talking. As Deku says, at least at least I'm not the one that's always interrupting teachers while they're talking. As Ida says, what do you mean? As Deku says, you're the one that's interrupting Mr. Mike. As he just sits down back. So as Deku is walking, he sees a red-haired girl and she has sharp teeth. And yes, I decided to make Kirishima a girl because this is basically the girl. Have you seen the last episode, right? Where he saves a a family that's a family in a cabin with red hair. Yeah, those are his ancestors. And remember, well, after that they started telling stories about this legendary god Fimbultyr, and said that one day he would come bearing his hammer, and you'll soon marry him. And and Kirishima knows this legend, and she is a bit anxious meeting this god. So Deku Deku before going there, getting ready, Deku summons his spear and creates Sleipnir. As everybody sees the horse, and as when they said 3, 2, 1, go, Deku starts riding off in Sleipnir's back. Everybody seeing the power that he has as Deku jumps off Sleipnir and summons Dragars, artificial Dragars with Hella Scythe. Deku starts slicing up the 3-pointers and the 1-pointers with just his scythe. As all of them see his power, he may be stronger than All Might. He's pretty buff in his own right. As Deku defeats almost all of the robots, he sees the 0-pointer. Female Kirishima's down is he's pretty much stuck there as Deku decides to help her out. Deku just pulls the rubble off and says, "Are you okay?" As Kirishima sees his abs. And remember that she in the anime he likes what's that called? Manly guys. Well, in this one she likes muscular guys, and when she sees Deku, well, she's pretty much smitten. Deku brings her to Recovery Girl, and Deku just charges up his gauntlet as Deku says, "Fimbul's here's punch!" As it's the face of the 0-pointers basically exploded. So after that, he goes home. So I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you all guys next time. Bye bye.